Good evening and welcome. We welcome each and every one of you. I realize that we need a bigger stage for our drum corps and our students participating here tonight. Again, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here tonight. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a public hearing / regular school board meeting of the Board of Trustees for the San Felipe CISD. This being November 18, 2019. Madam Secretary, would you call roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Contreras.
Present.
Ms. Guanajuato Webb.
Present.
Ms. Haynes. Mr. Mesa.
Here.
Mr. Overfelt.
Present.
Mr. Smith. And myself. Sir, we have a quorum.
Let the record show that we do have a quorum of board members, that this meeting has been duly called in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. This time we will have opening ceremonies. First, with a moment of silence, we're going to stand for personal reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll follow our agenda. First item of business we have is item number 4, recognition, the fine arts recognition, Ricardo Rios.
Good evening, Board President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. This evening, we are showcasing our marching band. Of course, we couldn't bring the entire marching band, drumline, and a few of its members. And just so that you can see some of the things. I know not everyone is able to make it always to the football games, and but you'll see a glimpse of some of the songs that we play up in the stands. Just like right before the meeting, we played a few songs, and so now we're going to have one more feature song that our mighty Ram Band is going to play. This is a group mainly just made up of our leaders, and if they can come out already, please. May the marching band come out, please. And over here you see one of our students. She is holding our UIL trophy as we went to UIL marching competition. And received first divisions in our UIL marching competition at Jetson Stadium. We also were finalists in McAllen. We've been competing in the Bands of America, and out of 27 bands, we came in 8th place. And then, yes, and that was down in McAllen. And then we also competed in Midland, where we came out 7th place in that regional as well. And we have all of our trophies over here on display from these different events that we participated in. And also went to the Alamo Dome, competed in the super regional there, where we beat over 30 bands. We beat most of the bands in South Texas. So out of our area, we actually would have come out second, which if it were a state year, we would have been advancing to the state finals. But anyway, it's in a different circuit. But hopefully next year we'll be able to hopefully compete against South Texas instead of right now we compete against the Austin bands, which are some of the best bands in the state of Texas. So we have our work cut out for us. But without any further ado, the students are going to be performing to Jai-Ho. And I want to be thanking all of the band directors from the middle school and all the way up through the high school, and all of the parents that help us out in the different activities, our band booster organization. They're now working on trying to get us an 18-wheeler like the rest of the world. We have to be renting U-Hauls every time that we travel. As a matter of fact, Eagle Pass is actually buying both CC Win and Eagle Pass High. They're buying them their own tractor trailers and the whole thing, the works. And it's like, man, they're buying 2 of them. So just a slight pitch I'm throwing out there at this point. But I think our kids deserve it. It's always nice to see when you see the other schools and they show up in their 18-wheelers and it says, so-and-so band and sponsors and what have you, or sometimes it's just, just the band. And then we show up with our U-Hauls. Hopefully we'll see the day where we can have an 18-wheeler for our kids. And when we show up at the Alamo Dome, we won't be, in our U-Hauls and have our own nice, very own 18-wheeler. So food for thought. Okay, I better move on before I get into any trouble here. Also want to be taking the time to recognize some of our region jazz players. If you guys would step forward. I know not everyone was able to make it tonight, but we had Carla Casillas over here in the front, Phoebe Pagan, Kiana Valadez, Jesus Sertuche over here in trombone, David Zamora, Jared De La Garza on drums. There he is stepping forward. Uciel Valenzuela. And advancing to recording for state, we had Richard Roman on bari sax, Jesus Sertuche on trombone, David Zamora, and also Jared De La Garza recorded for state. So we hope that hopefully they'll be selected for the state jazz band. And again, I want to thank you for all of your support and of our fine arts programs, and congratulations to these kids on such a wonderful marching season, being able to beat many bands from throughout the state and representing Del Rio to the best. So thank you so much, students, and thank you, administration and parents, for your support.
As always, our students make us very proud. They do a tremendous job, again, representing us and doing so well with the fine arts program. I understand the pitch from Mr. Rios for an 18-wheeler. And we also need a bigger stage. But again, we're very proud of our students, and excellent work by our directors, band directors, and our band people. Thank you again, Mr. Rios. Next item we have on our agenda is recognition of Campus Teacher of the Week, Aidea Garcia.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Our Teacher of the Week incentive program is designed to spotlight our most dedicated and talented teachers. These teachers have been featured on our SFDR social media, and tonight we will recognize them and present them with a certificate. Teacher of the Week for October 7th through 11th. Early College High School, Kathy Arredondo, ELA teacher, and Principal Patsy Rodriguez. Del Rio Middle School 8th grade, Mr. David Olivares, mathematics teacher, and Principal Cynthia Salas. Teacher of the Week for October 14th through October 18th, Del Rio High School, Nilda Benavides, ELA teacher, and Principal Dr. Perez. Garfield Elementary, Christine Snyder, second grade teacher, and Principal Ms. Denise Rubio. Adrian Ochoa, first grade teacher from North Heights Elementary, and principal, Mrs. Solis. For the week of October 21st through October 25th, from Dr. Fermin Calderon, Velma B. Garza, third grade teacher, and principal, Mrs. Jane Villarreal. From Blended Academy, Veronica Aldred, CTE business education teacher, and her principal, Ms. Alda Zuniga. Teacher of the Week for October 28th through November 1st, from Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary, Cameron Ford, fourth grade teacher, and her principal, Mrs. Cheryl Pond. From Robert Bobby Barrera Elementary STEM Magnet, we have Lisa Garcia Ortiz, first grade teacher, and her principal, Ms. Libby Millender. From Del Rio Middle School, seventh grade, we have Mrs. Bertha Howell, social studies teacher, and principal, Jorge Jurado. And if we can all step forward for a picture, and thank you very much for your hard work.
And as always, we're real proud of our staff as well. We have tremendous teachers in our district that do a fantastic job. I applaud all the teachers that were selected again for doing a tremendous job for us. Thank you again. Okay, at this time, we are on item 5, our agenda, citizens to be heard. The board will hear comments from the audience only during the public comment section of our meeting. Public comments are held to a maximum of 5 minutes, rather. And again, if we have a group of more than one individual, we ask that you select one person to be the spokesperson. Please respect the privacy of others and refrain from identifying students, employees, or other community members by name. disruption of the meeting will not be tolerated at any time. I also want to ask, again, finally, that please be aware of the rules, and they will be enforced during the public comment period. Again, personal attacks, name calling, or rude or slanderous remarks will not be tolerated. Each participant is legally responsible for the content and consequences of his or her own actions. Person we have signed up is Alejandra Hernandez. Topic is children's concern.
Hi, my name's Alejandra Hernandez, and I'm here because I would like to know my son suffered a concussion and a fractured wrist on October 17. And to this day, I do not know what happened or how long he was on the ground. And I am requesting, and I sent a certified letter today pertaining to the situation, that I'm requesting a meeting with the board to talk about the situations that have occurred with my children, not just my 10-year-old, but also my 13-year-old. And that's it.
Thank you. And again, just want to say that we hear the complaints, and we do not act on the complaints at this meeting. Again, we do take the information into account. Thank you again for being here. At this time, we have a public hearing. Item 6, overview of the school first, which is the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. Mr. Henry Arredondo.
Good evening, President Mesa, Vice President Guanajuato Webb, Secretary Gonzalez, board members, and Dr. Rios. Okay, we will begin with the public hearing. This is the 17th year of School First. That's a financial integrity rating system of Texas for Texas school districts. This public hearing is to announce that the district received a rating of A, superior, with a score of 92. This rating is the state's highest, demonstrating the quality of our district's financial management and the reporting system. The state's School Financial Accountability Rating System, known as the School Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas, or FIRST, ensures that the Texas public schools are held accountable for the quality of their financial management practices and that they improve those practices. The system is designed to encourage Texas public schools to better manage their financial resources, to provide the maximum allocation possible for direct instructional purposes. The primary goal of the School First is to achieve quality performance in the management of school districts' financial resources, a goal made more significant due to the complexity of accounting associated with Texas school finance. Every district is required to provide a management report to the public, an overview of the School First, a presentation, present the district rating provided by Texas Education Agency, and allow for public comment on report as presented. Date of the meeting must be published once a week for 2 weeks, and we've done that in the Del Rio News Herald on November the 3rd and the 10th. Next, I will go over the indicators that the state uses. Number 1 was the complete annual financial report and data submitted to the Texas Education Agency within 30 days of the January 28th deadline, depending on the school district's financial year-end date of August 31st. And the annual financial report was approved by the Board of Trustees on January the 21st, 2019. Question 2A, was there an unmodified opinion in the annual financial report on the financial statements as a whole? The annual financial report was submitted with an unmodified opinion. Question 2B, did the external independent auditor report that the annual financial report was free of any instances of material weaknesses in internal controls over financial reporting and compliance for local, state, or federal funds? Belt Harris Pahachek, the district's external auditors, reported no material weaknesses in the last financial audit. Was the school district in compliance with the payment terms of all debt agreements at fiscal year end? The district paid all obligations in a timely manner. The next state indicators, four, did the school district make timely payments to the Teachers Retirement System, Texas Workforce Commission, Internal Revenue Service, and other government agencies? The payments to government agencies were paid in a timely manner. Question number 5, was the total unrestricted net position balance, net of the accretion of interest for capital appreciation bonds, in the governmental activities column in the state of a net position greater than 0? This indicator simply asks, did the district total assets exceed the total amount of liabilities? And that is yes. The indicator is not being scored. However, I've provided the information as we did in the past 3 years. Question 6, was the number of days of cash on hand and current investments in the general fund for the school district sufficient to cover operating expenditures? Our district has more than 90 days of cash on hand. Number 7, was the measure of current assets to current liabilities ratio for the school district sufficient to cover short-term debt? Our current ratio is 5.48, which is sufficient. Number 8, was the ratio of long-term liabilities to total assets for the school district sufficient to support long-term solvency? And yes, our total assets exceed our total liabilities. Question number 9, did the school district's general fund revenues equal or exceed expenditures? If not, was the school district's number of days of cash on hand greater than or equal to 60 days? And our cash on hand is greater than or equal to 60 days. Number 10, was the debt service coverage ratio sufficient to meet the required debt service? The district was able to make all bond payments. Was the school district administrative cost ratio equal to or less than the threshold ratio? Yes, our ratio was less than the 0.10. We scored a 0.0874. Number 12, did the school district not have a 15% decline in the students to staff ratio over 3 years? Our enrollment increased by 64 compared to the 2016-2017 enrollment of 10,515 students. State indicator 13. Did the comparison of public education information management system data to like information in the school district accounting annual financial report result in a total variance of less than 3%? Our data variance was 0.03%. Question number 14, did the external independent auditor report that the annual financial report was free of any instances of material weaknesses in internal controls over financial reporting and compliance for local, state, or federal funds? Belt Harris Pahachek, the district's external auditors, reported no material weaknesses in the last financial audit. Question 15, did the school district not receive an adjusted repayment schedule for more than one fiscal year for an overallocation of foundation school program funds as a result of financial hardship? Our district calculates state funding and monitors ADA every 6 weeks. Total points earned, 92, which gives the district an A superior rating. I provided you with a copy of the presentation and also some disclosures that will be posted on our website. The reported disclosures are the superintendent contract, and that is posted on our website for anybody to review. Reimbursements to superintendent and the board of trustees, outstanding compensation of superintendent in exchange for professional and personal services, gifts of $250 or more to superintendent and board of trustees, and any district transactions with Board of Trustees, which there aren't any, but they're provided in your packet, and they will be presented on our website starting tomorrow. Next is the public comments.
Okay, at this time, if there's anyone wishing to make a public comment, this is the time to do this. This is a public hearing. There being none, this public hearing will adjourn.
Okay, I would just like to thank the staff that's responsible for this. I'm new to the organization, but I've seen a lot of commitment from the accounting staff, from the comptroller, the budget director, and the structure that you all have set for this district, which is very impressive.
Well, I think they deserve an applause.
Thank you.
Again, it's not easy to make this earning of first financial integrity rating of Texas, and we're extremely proud of how hard our finance department works, and all the paperwork and extra hours that they work really show when we receive this kind of rating. Extremely pleased. Again, board members, wishing to make any comments?
Congratulations.
Thank you again. I will adjourn the public hearing. We'll continue with our board meeting. We're down to item 8, reports. First item we have is item 8A, San Felipe CISD Education Foundation presentation. Sylvia Owens, welcome.
Good evening, Board President Mesa and board members. Dr. Rios, thank you so much for allowing us to come and give you a snapshot of what the Education Foundation has been up to this past year. We're very excited. We also want to thank you as well for your continual support. It shows. We appreciate y'all coming to our events. We've seen a lot of your faces there, so thank you again for your support. First of all, we want to kind of give you an idea of who sits on our board. I am one person sitting up here, but this Education Foundation is made up of a very strong board. I feel very fortunate to be working with them. Everyone pulls so much weight when you look at this board. It's probably, and I think we've all kind of mentioned in the past, one of our favorite boards because the camaraderie of this group is very impressive. We also, at this point, want to extend an invitation to our board members as reviewing our bylaws. We are required to have a district board member sit on the Education Foundation board, so please keep that in mind. And if any one of you is interested, or if y'all would like to discuss that and then appoint, we'd love to have you, one of you on our board. Thank you so much. So the purpose of our Education Foundation, first of all, we were created in 2012. Y'all have heard this before, but our purpose is to enrich, strengthen, and enhance and support the district, you guys, by funding projects, educational projects and activities that would not otherwise be provided by public funds. Our goal is to recognize educators' initiatives and creativity, and to recognize students for their achievement and commitment to learning. How do we do this? Well, we do have fundraisers, so we're very excited about this year's fundraisers. We have a lot of community support, and towards the end of the presentation, we're going to give you an idea, so we'd like for you all to recognize some of them and thank them if you see them out in the community. Very exciting where we've come from, so we want to give you some numbers of where we've come from and where we are this year. In 2015, we actually funded 4 projects for innovative teaching grants for a total of $10,800. In 2016, that revved up to 12 projects funded for a total of $21,463. In 2017, we went up to 13 projects, or $25,658. Very excited. Last year, we came and told you about our 30 projects we funded in 2018 for a total of $41,510. And even more exciting is what we were able to do this year. So this year, we funded a total of 40 projects for a total of $51,326. And that picture, it depicts the grant recipients. So very exciting. We give them these nice checks. Y'all get to see them if you're attending the convocation. That is when we're awarding these. We're excited because the teachers are getting excited to submit their applications. In addition to actually, as our funding goes up, and you'll see our financial report here in just a minute, but not only are we able to increase the money that we give out to our teachers, we're also able to increase the money and the scholarships that we give out to our students. Last year, we gave 3 scholarships, 3 $1,000 scholarships. This past year, we were able to, in 2019, give out 16 scholarships to the total of $10,500. Now to our financial report. How do we accomplish those goals? How are we able to continue to grow? Well, we've got 2 main fundraisers that we do. Y'all are familiar with our Dinner on the Creek. This year, we're very excited to have added our very, very first Adventure on the Creek. Dinner on the Creek was record-breaking this year. We're very excited and hoping that we can mirror or accomplish that same goal this coming year. $74,601.32 were raised during our Dinner on the Creek, and that is net of our fundraising cost. Our very first Adventure on the Creek, I don't know if any of you all attended, but it was lots of fun. There was a lot of work that went into it, but it's also a very exciting event to bring our community together. This year, for the very first time, we had it this past September, and we were able to raise net of fundraising cost $10,648.20. In addition to that, we had 2 very generous contributors contribute a total of $16,000. So the total revenue that was raised this year was $101,249.52. Very excited to tell you all that. This is a fun report. Some of the things, how have we used this money? So this kind of tells you where we're spending our money. Total grants that were funded this year from September 2018 to October to now, $51,326.90 to our grants recipients, the innovative teaching grants. The total scholarships of $10,500. This past year, we were able to recognize our Teachers of the Year by awarding them $100 gift certificates, so $1,600 were spent there. And we had some miscellaneous expenses of about $300. So total expenditure is $63,726.90. And it also gives you a breakdown of where we are as far as our total assets. So today we have $86,641.06, a very good start to our next year coming. So our goal is eventually to save enough so that we can actually have some income producing funds out there for the foundation in addition to our fundraising projects. We do want you to help us thank our contributors. We do have several contributors that have been with us year in and year out. So we do want to recognize those. Because of their generosity, we're able to create more prosperous future, not only for our students, but also for our community as a whole. Some of those contributors are included here. I want you all to just take a little time to review some of those. I know you all know them. I know you recognize those names. Please help us thank them as you see them out in the community, because without their help and their effort, we would not be able to raise the kind of funds that we do. The first ones that you see here are our gold and silver sponsors, meaning they are donating anywhere from $2,500 on up. This past year for the Dinner on the Creek, we also had some Education Foundation Premier sponsors, advocates, and friends of the foundation. Every single person or every single company that's listed there actually either gave us an item for the silent auction, for the live auction, for, just provided us with some type of service free of cost. I think everyone in the community basically supports this because they know the good that it's doing for our teachers and our students. Our very first adventure on the creek, I think this was a brainchild, obviously, of Dr. Rios, who brought it to us, and then it just kind of just developed on its own from there. But we also had some of the same sponsors come through and want to see it succeed. It was very successful. We actually featured our creek, since we kind of stayed with the theme Adventure on the Creek. I think it's probably the very first one that actually included kayaking down San Felipe Creek. And it created excitement and created just camaraderie between the community, Laughlin Air Force Base. It was a great event. We are looking forward to growing this in the future. There was a lot of work that went into putting this together, but there are two individuals that we want to recognize tonight because of their efforts and hard work that they did. We want to thank them with just a little token from the foundation. So if we'll have Mr. Peter, here somewhere? He was taking pictures a few minutes ago. So Peter Ojeda and Tani Canchola worked diligently, not only during work hours, but a lot of work was done after hours to put this thing together for us. So we'd like to call them forward if we can. We are presenting them with a $200 gift card. On behalf of the foundation, thank them very, very much for your hard work and your dedication to making our fundraiser a success. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments?
I just want to say,
Great job.
under your leadership, I have seen this organization grow by leaps and bounds, and you can see the excitement on the teachers at the teacher convocation as they receive their award for the project, and the end result is students growing again by the project that they have. I have seen a lot of creativity, but the end result is students participate and they're learning something different and something new. So I just want to say thank you again.
Thank you so
to
much.
everyone. Everyone is a hard worker. Mr. Contreras?
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Like I said, it's not possible without your support as well, so thank you all very much.
Anyone else? No, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, we continue with reports. Item B, 8B is attendance and discipline report. Term 2, Michelle Smith.
Mr. Mesa, as always, the reports are in the packet. If the board wishes, we could answer questions or we could go through the whole presentation.
What is the board wishes? Anyone have a question or comment? Okay. Is everyone okay with the report? Okay, we're okay. I just, once again, somehow it is a concern when the attendance goes below 95%. And I applaud the winners of the elementary and the secondary group, which again, for example, secondary, San Felipe Middle School, Greeley College High School, Del Rio Middle School, 7th grade, Ruben Chavira Elementary, Dr. Lonnie Green, and North Heights. But again, it's always a concern when attendance goes below 95%. You look at freshmen, and it becomes a concern when becomes 93 and continues to be lower as the year goes by. So just whatever can be done to send the parental aids and have parent conferences to improve that 93 to bring it up above 95%. Anyone else? Thank you very much. Next item that we have is staff development update. Ida Gomez, I requested this information so we could get information as to how staff development is put together, especially for the different needs of the campuses, whether it be elementary or secondary.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. That is correct. Mr. Mesa had requested this information, so we have put a packet together that is on your desk. The staff development update. First of all, there is a state mandate. It does say that any teacher that's holding a certification currently has to renew it every 5 years from the date that they first earned it. In San Felipe del Rio, we do ensure 54 hours each year of staff development for our teachers. That is free of charge. The district does provide all the staff development. You'll see the various staff development sessions are listed on that first sheet, starting from August until our last waiver day in February of 2020. That particular day, the teachers don't actually come in. They're allowed throughout the year to view some webinars, anything that's online, and it does count towards that day. How do we determine staff development, though? There's really 3 ways. First of all, federal requirements under ESSA Title I, they require that every campus conducts a campus needs assessment in the spring. The campus needs assessment actually is comprised of 8 different categories. You'll see student achievement, curriculum instruction and assessment, demographics, school organization, family and community involvement, school culture and climate, staff quality, recruitment and retention, and technology. So the campuses are responsible for conducting teams that actually review data and needs under each one of those components. At that point, the principals do submit what they consider to be their top areas of need to the curriculum instruction department. In addition to that, we have 2 other areas that we have to assess. One of them is the state assessment results. We do, the district does analyze the STAR and end of course results to determine any needs. For instance, if our reading results are low, we have to provide some kind of staff development in reading. We also have district and state initiatives, though. This year, for instance, was the new ELAR adoption, so we had to provide training for those textbooks. And the Commissioner of Education also implemented a focus on phonics, K through 5, so that was a state mandate, a state initiative, so we also followed the lead of providing the staff development for kinder through 5 teachers on phonics. We have some campus-based and some district-based requirements. For instance, those first 2 that you see under campus-based, the bloodborne pathogen control, that is mandated by the state of Texas that every staff member in every district has to view and participate in that online training. Also, positive behavior programs, that is also a mandated online training. If you're a GT teacher in the state of Texas, you do have to also have a 6-hour review, and of course our ELPS and ethics. District, however, we do have our mentor-mentee trainings under House Bill 3. We do have gifted and talented 30 hours for our new teachers, early literacy, K-5, T-test for new hires, the ESL sheltered instruction, and our ELPS. The next 12 pages in your packet, which I won't go over, give you a rundown of the staff development that's been provided in 2018 up till now. We decided to go back 1 year since we still have 3 staff development sessions this year. But you'll see that they're broken down by content for the next 12 pages. You'll see ELA and secondary reading, bilingual and bilingual instruction for our aides. You'll see math and science, followed by social studies and sheltered instruction teams. Our special ed teachers, our librarians, and our aides. These are all the subgroups that we provide staff development for on a very focused level. our counselors and our nurses, our strategists and our instructional support specialists. We have fine arts and dance and our CTE programs, our PE coaches and our aides, and our foreign language teachers, our speech therapists and our dyslexia therapists, our behavior skills teachers and aides, and our life skills teachers and aides, along with our support staff of diagnosticians, art facilitators, and related service personnel. So we did provide that information for you in case you're ever interested in what kind of training or professional development a certain content or core area or even a department has received. One of the specific requests, though, was what kind of classroom management professional development have we offered our district? We did have a Fred Jones Tools for Teaching for all instructional staff. All 1,100 or so staff members went through the training. There were several sessions throughout an entire year. We have had the E3 training for leadership teams, Marcia Tate training for instructional staff, capturing kids' hearts for all instructional staff. We currently do have champs at Del Rio Middle School, the mentor-mentee seminars. If you are a District of Innovation teacher, we do conduct one-to-one classroom management training for you, normally on a Saturday. Del Rio Cares district-wide initiative, T-Test training for all new teachers, T-Test refresher, that is a campus-based refresher, brain-based strategies, emotional poverty, how to reduce anger, anxiety, and avoidance in the classroom, and bullying prevention. In previous presentations, we have addressed the new math. We did add second grade this year and sixth grade, so we do have a program for second through sixth grade. You'll see the consultant Sandra Garza does come every 6 weeks. You'll see that she also creates a benchmark that is used for us to teach. The assistant principals this year were tasked with facilitating and understanding and knowing the math curriculum and the math program. And then, of course, the packets. CNI does print and have everything ready for every single staff development. In the little peachy area on the side, you will see all the dates of the staff development sessions. We do have science collaboratives this year. During RTI days, staff development days, and even after school sessions, we are currently using the STEM Scopes curriculum for this, and it is led by a 5th grade teacher at Lamar Elementary. Again, the dates are scheduled there. Of course, in our district, we have a need for bilingual and ESL specific training. So aside from everything that you did see on the first slides, we have had sheltered team instruction this year. It was a 3-day training. You'll see in August, September, and October, sheltered instruction in Texas, 38 great language builders, and 7 steps to a language-rich interactive classroom. We also have collaboratives, where our beginner intermediate teachers, our self-contained teachers, actually meet with our bilingual director. And you'll see that we had one session on September 19th and another one on October 23rd, and the topics are listed. How do we monitor? It is very important to progress monitor. We do monitor every 3rd week and every 6th week. Failure reports are generated and sent out to the campus. It'll include the principal, the assistant principal. There's the strategist, sometimes the counselor, depending on the list. Progress monitoring is also conducted through the TELPAS data, the STAR data, the summative assessment, benchmark, and our TPRI, which is our Texas Primary Reading Inventory Report. It's a test that all kinder through 3rd graders have to take, and our results have to be submitted to TEA. The next slide, you'll see a breakdown of the TELPAS data. It's a breakdown by proficiency level and by grade. For instance, we do have the components of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. and then there's a composite score. If I was to look just at the first grade across the top row, this tells me that we had 264 LEP students in first grade. 136 of those students showed an increase in their proficiency level in listening. In speaking, those same 264 students, 146 showed an increase, or 55%. In reading, the same 264 first graders, 134 showed an increase, or 51%. And in writing, out of the 264, 105 students, or 40%, showed an increase in their proficiency level. That just means that if they came into us as beginners in kindergarten, they ended the year above beginners, probably at an intermediate level, but definitely at least at a minimum, one proficiency level higher. You'll see the composite score, the 264 students, 140, 53% of our LEP first graders did show an increase. Every grade level is added to the report for your information. At the bottom, we did include the district average, the district data. We had 1,561 LEP students, 542, 35% showed an increase in listening. In speaking, 422 or 27%. In reading, 33% with 508 students. And in writing, 35% with 539 students. An overall composite, 1,561 LEP students, 424 showed an increase for 27%. When you analyze the report, you'll see that the older they are, the higher they are in their proficiency. If they're already at an advanced, they can't grow. They have to exit. So it's not going to show an increase. Even if they maintain, it will not show an increase. So our goal is to exit the students. And the last part of the report that was requested was the GPC and retention information. We do have a comparison for you from 2017-18 to 2018-19. If I could just show an example of how the report is written, if you look across at Buena Vista. This is for fifth graders, for instance, in 2018. We had 115 fifth graders. Out of those, we had 23 grade placement committee meetings. Out of those 23, 19 of those students were placed at sixth grade. Out of those 19, 5 students were receiving special ed services, so the ARD committee, rather than the grade placement committee, made the decision to place them, and we had a total of 4 retentions. So if I go across, same data for Buena Vista for 2019, last year they had 119 students. They held 17 grade placement meetings. They had 12 students who were placed or GPC'd on to sixth grade. Out of those 12, 9 of the students were receiving special ed services. So the ARD committee made that decision, and 5 were actually retained in fifth grade. We followed the same template all across for every campus. And at the bottom, you'll see the information for the 8th grade. At the 8th grade, we had 640 students taking math and 533 taking reading. They did hold 184 GPC meetings back in 2018. 136 students were placed at the 9th grade. Out of that 136, 51 students were receiving special ed services, so the ARD committee made that decision. And 48 students were retained, and they attended blended. In 2019, we had 628 math students, 568 reading students. They held a total of 154 GPC meetings last year. 80 students were placed at 9th grade, 66 out of those 80 were receiving special ed services, so the ARD committee made that decision, and 74 students were retained and are attending blended. What kind of support is provided for those students? First of all, when you're making the recommendation on a GPC meeting to place the student, you do need to look at the TA determination of whether that student will be successful. TA actually gives us the data that says that with correct intervention, the students will reach a successful level of reading. Students receive an individualized intervention plan. Tutorials are available. We do have the tiered classroom instruction, and then we do have guided practice and online resources for every student who is GPC'd on. Finally, we do have focused tutorial groups. We've mentioned that in previous meetings. We have identified students who missed approaches by 4 or less questions. There is an after-school tutorial program with a certified teacher. We do contact every parent for permission and for them to understand the urgency. We do have resources. There's another group that the principals are identifying, and that is a student group of who missed meets by 4 questions. Again, after-school sessions with a certified teacher. We do make parent contact to ensure that the students will be attending, resources are provided, and transportation. On the next slide, let me finish this one first, sorry. We do have some other groups that the principals have began to put together. We have acceleration instruction groups. So if you're close to masters, they have put these groups together. Students with learning disabilities, such as dyslexia or who are receiving special ed services, that could be another tutorial group. Bilingual ESL students learning a second language, and of course our retesters, English 1 and English 2 at Del Oro High School. This is a copy of the template that is being used for tutorials, and you'll see it'll have the teacher name, the targeted group. This is a group that missed the meets category. They will meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the after 3:45 to 4:45. You'll see the ID, student names, the scale score, the raw score. The meets category, it's a reading group who missed meets by 4. Here's the percentage that they made. Yes, they hit the approaches last year. No, they did not hit the meets. So it's a very targeted group. It'll make it a lot easier for the teacher to stay focused because the students should all be about the same reading level or math level. The gold template you'll see is for math. Mr. Mesa, that is our staff development update report, and at this time, if there's any questions.
Okay. Before I turn it over to the board members, just want to thank you for putting all this information together. I do have a couple of questions. I think a big part of it is missing here in regard to students attending summer school.
Okay.
I don't have that here. To be able to see how many did attend, how many did not, how many did return back to the campus and were retained. The other part is the correlation between T-test, the evaluation for teachers, and results being program again for staff development. For example, questioning techniques, checking for understanding, learning environment, what supportive material was present during the lesson, what questioning techniques, checking for understanding, whether it's verbal, written, expressed, and questions relating to the evaluation instrument, and again, teacher participation. Dr. Rios.
On the template, will you go back, Ms. Gomez, to the template on the students that were retained?
Which one, sir?
You passed it already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, so on that list, Mr. Mesa, the students that were retained, what you want to know is, or the students that You want to know how many of those students went to summer school?
Yes, the ones that were moved on to the next grade. How many of them completed summer school?
Okay,
Okay.
so you want us to break down that column further? Okay.
It just, it further explains the rationale.
Yes, sir, we can provide that for you. And we can provide how many were successful after the third assessment also.
And I really asked for this information because I wanted to find out how the staff development is prescribed for campus needs, because they're all different. Again, if there's a campus that, for example, discipline, classroom management is a problem, then it should be identified as staff development for that particular campus, more so than some that are not having that issue. Same thing goes for classroom environment. Supportive material appearance in the classroom, as far as bulletin boards, supportive material, materials that are used to incorporate during the lesson, checking for understanding, and things of that nature.
So will you go back to the third slide on your presentation from the very beginning? So then, just to understand correctly, what we need to do is go back and visit with each campus principal, because they're the ones that turn in this assessment, just to make sure that they are looking at their teacher evaluations, teacher summative evaluations, and make sure that it's being reflected appropriately.
Well, what I want to make sure is that the staff development that is being provided for each campus is, again, appropriate for their needs based on the evaluation of the teachers. When the principal goes to observe, again, if it's questioning, checking for understanding, are they being given additional training in regard to checking for understanding? If there's learning environment where the classroom is not inviting, there's no other resources to incorporate for the lesson, is that something that is missing from that particular campus? I just want to tie in the evaluation, teacher evaluations,
To the PD.
with the needs for that particular campus.
Yes, sir.
It has been done before. I just want to see the correlation. I don't want to see staff development that is prescribed across the board because it's available. It should be identifying the needs that those particular staff members have at each campus. And that's, again, that's my understanding, okay? My input in regard to that. But I'll open it up to board members. Anyone else? Mrs. Webb?
I wish I had had this earlier, not wait till we come to the meeting to look at all the data and all the information. Because I also had questions on the number of students that were promoted from elementary. I think I questioned that the last time. We had 117. Out of the 117, 57 was because of an ARD, but there's different reasons that an ARD determines that someone is going to be promoted. So out of that, you still have 60. You did allude to the fact that some of these students, we are keeping track, and that was my question last time. How are we going to provide assistance for these 60 students plus the 57 now that were under the ARD agreement to assist the principal at 6th grade so that these students don't fall through the cracks? We have the ones that were retained, and we had a presentation of what's going to happen in elementary, but we haven't seen a presentation for what's going to happen to assist the principal at 6th grade with these students.
Questions? Anyone else? Dr. Rios?
We'll respond to Ms. Webb via board update before the next board meeting, and then if you want us to do a presentation on it, we will. So we'll in 2 or 3 weeks we'll provide the precedent. The reason we're not able to do it anytime sooner is because all this work that Ms. Gomez put together, we don't have a system that automatically tracks it. Skyward isn't that advanced yet, so it just involves a whole lot of counting and searching on the part of the staff, and it's time consuming. But we'll provide that information hopefully within the next 3 weeks, and if you need or request a presentation, then we'll do it again at the next board meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much again for all the information provided to us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This time we'll continue with reports. Item 8D, Facilities and Construction Report. Ms. Enge.
Mr. Mesa, Mr. Henge is not able to be with us today. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. But I will, Ms. Hernandez will take us, will help me flip through the slides, and I'll make the presentation. And if there's any questions, I'm sure that between Mr. Chapa or Mr. Scott or myself, we can answer them. Today we're going to review Lonnie Green High School and freshmen. Although freshmen, we're going to postpone that for another month. But, go ahead. As discussed in the last meeting, we're scheduled to have the cement poured at Lonnie Green in the indicated shaded area in blue there, and also the installation of the canopy. So before the beginning of December, everything should be completed in that area. Everything's progressing. The contract is ready to go, so there should be nothing that delays that project. At Del Rio High School, if you can see, we've completed all of the perimeter around the library. All the white or the yellow insulation that was there has now been removed and it's been painted. It's all ready to go for the next phase, which is the acoustic phase. That'll hopefully happen in the summer. Over Thanksgiving, we'll do part of the library, and then we'll finish the library over the Christmas holiday, and then that piece of the ceiling renovation will be complete. Now, the 400 wing, I believe we're a little bit ahead of schedule. We do have a change order that's going to be brought to you today, but we're anticipating that the furniture will be delivered by the 16th of December, and while the staff is on holiday, we'll be able to move everything in, and we expect that not only will be substantially completed, but entirely completed before the holiday is over. The dining hall renovations are slow, but just about complete. We did have to alter the dates because we expected that by this time we would have the microwave stations and the kiosk completed. But you'll see in the next slide that significant progress has been made. The wall is already done. I sent you all a picture last Friday. It looks very nice. And let me just go to the next slide. You can see there, that's the area immediately when you walk into the high school. You can see the kiosk has been framed. The metal frame has been done, and it's expected that the entire kiosk will be done before the beginning of the next semester. Can you go to the next slide, Sandra? Right there. So you see towards the back of that picture on the left, those are the microwave stations. In visiting with the high school administration, they wanted them flipped. They wanted the microwaves on one side and the other side to be open to hang some monitors on there. So we delayed the contractor a little bit in that project, but that is also scheduled to be done by December 13th. Because that'll be my birthday gift. A little side note. The high school life skills renovation, we were expecting to bring those drawings for approval today. However, they're only about 90-95% complete. So we're bringing those during the December board meeting. Those are our updates. If y'all have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Questions? Yes, Mr. Overfeld.
From the high school 400 renovation, and maybe it's just a typo, but it says relocating the staff and students from the 1000 wing on 1220, which is that last Friday we're there. We're not actually going to move anybody that last day. It'll happen after classes are out, or?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It'll happen entirely after classes are out.
Anyone else? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next item we have is the consent agenda. There are a couple of meeting minutes. One is a public hearing, regular board meeting. The other one was a workshop. Again, there's some large items that are being purchased that are in the consent agenda. I particularly have a question in regard to item F6. A Bit Defender Gravity Zone Advanced Business Security. It's a big old tech name. I want to know what it is.
Yes, sir. That's our firewall. That's what protects it, and it's an update. I'm sorry, it's an annual renovation that we bring every year.
Okay. And then on the schematic design item G3, is this the design with permits, or what does it involve?
Yes, sir. That's the work that I'm Consulting is going to do to design the actual driveway through the back, and the permits will be handled. The project management will be overseen by Mr. Chapa. The permits that will be pulled will be by the actual contractor. That's the actual design, just to make sure that the cement is as thick as it needs to be, as the height of the cement, the slope of it, and that all that is appropriate. But most of the project management will be done by in-house.
Okay. And then item G4, which is again architects for schematic design for the restroom renovations.
Yes, sir. If the operations committee last year, we talked about the next phase in renovations should be the restrooms on campus. They're very small, so Mr. Peña is the same architect that designed the restrooms at the high school, the renovations at the high school. So he will now move on to the freshman campus to renovate the student restrooms there.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have. Anyone else? Mr. Overfeld?
Item C2, audiovisual equipment for the Del Rio High School Little Theater. Based on what's in the bid sheet there, going with, I guess, Sound Productions. And timeline, I guess, ARO means after order received, or after receives order. Ultimate question is, they're supposed to do West Side Story starting on December 5th. So will all of this be installed by the time that production is ready to go?
Yes, sir. That is our goal. We visited the theater, and met with the theater director. We discussed some improvements that needed to be made. That is our goal, and if it's going to be delayed, then we won't remove what's there, but we'll make everything usable.
And the last one I have, sir, is F3 for site prep and resurfacing of the ROTC marching pad. 125, not to exceed $125,000. Says out of the general fund. Was this committed, or we're dipping into general fund?
It was neither. Mr. Henge, in his plan that he submits in the summer, he had allotted for paving projects for the district, asphalt projects, I'm sorry. So this money is coming out of that money that was budgeted for this year.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
No, I had already, I want to take this off. On G1, I already spoke about this. I was concerned about the amount of money, 16,000, because I thought the way it reads on the agenda that we were going to be hiring other people to help us hire and recruit. And also for the absence management program, what is that? Anyway, I found out it's a computer program we're talking about. We're updating it or changing it or whatever.
Yeah, optimizing it.
Okay, so that's another, what's it called now? whatever it's called. So it's frontline now? Okay. That's it.
Frontline. Your HR.
That's like the dogs thing. Yeah.
Anyone else? Again, one action will approve all items on the consent agenda. But before we do that, Madam Secretary, would you do the honor of the donations?
The Spot and Pro Shop donated $210 to Buena Vista Elementary Robotics, $125 to Dr. Felmin Calderon Elementary Student Council, $175 to Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary Student Council, $185 to North Heights Elementary, $100 to Ruben Chavita Elementary, one banner valued at $126 to Early College High School. Texas Athletics Productions donated $1,100 to Dario High School Athletic Department. Ram Band Booster Club, $4,783.86 to the Dario High School Band. Anonymous, $100 to Calderon Elementary, Brianna's Blessings. Alida Helgerman, $100 Cardwell Elementary. Michael Greenwald, $300 to Lamar Elementary STEAM. North Heights Elementary PTO, $834.75 to North Heights Elementary. Raspa King, $75 gift cards to Blended Academy. City Church of Del Rio, food and clothing, estimated value $850 to Calderon Elementary. HEB, 26 pumpkins, estimated value $80 to Early College High School. First United Methodist Church, 100 bags of food, estimated value $1,000 to Garfield Elementary. Valverde Border Humanitarian Coalition, 12 coats, estimated value $300 to Garfield Elementary. Applebee's, 75 certificates for free meals, estimated value $599 to Cardwell Elementary. Southwest Texas Regional Back to School Health Fair, 15 backpacks, estimated value $52.50 Cardwell Elementary. Save Kids Valverde, 50 books, estimated value $200 to Lamar Elementary. La Vida Serena Nursing Home, 8 complete meals, estimated value $125 to San Felipe Memorial Middle School. Lou's Wood Fire Pizza, 3 large pizzas, estimated value $75, San Felipe Memorial Middle School. Okay. Donations to San Felipe Del Rio CISD Health Fair included Edna Insurance, gym bag with water bottle, notepad, and assorted items, estimated value $25. Amistad Bank Fall Decor Basket, estimated value $35. Border Federal Credit Union Travel Mug, estimated value $30. Itopia Incorporated 4 wireless phone chargers, estimated value $156. MedLife, 1 bag, estimated value $20. Money Concepts, 1 gift basket, estimated value $50. Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, 1 cooler bag, pedometer, and calendar, estimated value $100. Texas Community Bank, 2 plants, estimated value $40. The Bank and Trust, 3 $10 Applebee's gift cards. Standard Insurance Company, 1 Yeti cup, estimated value $32. United Way, gift bags and goodies, estimated value $30. Valverde Regional Medical Center, 2 gift bags with goodies, estimated value $60. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As always, we are grateful for citizens out there in the community assisting our district, as well as organizations, again, contributing for the benefit of all students and staff in our district. We thank you again for your contributions. Next item that we have is administration, item 10A. Oh, I call for a motion for consent. Thank you very much, my assistant. Moved by Mr. Overfelt, seconded by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor for approving consent agenda items? All those in favor? Anyone against? Oh, item passes. Thank you for. Item 10A, consideration to cast votes on the 2020-2021 terms for the Valverde Appraisal District Board of Directors. Official ballot, Mr. Henry Arredondo.
Good evening once again. In compliance with the CCH Legal, Local Revenue Sources Appraisal District, the board shall participate in the election of the Board of Directors of the Appraisal District or districts as provided by law. The official ballot for the Val Verde Appraisal District Board of Directors is for the 2020-2021 term. Taxing units may vote for any candidates appearing on the ballot and may split the number of votes in any manner. The number of votes for San Felipe de Oro CISD are 4,095. I put a sheet there in front of you,
Yes.
Mr. Mesa.
I'm gonna read the recommendation, okay? Recommendation that the board approve the votes as follows. Name of candidate, Juan Gallegos. Number of votes cast, 1,000. Ramiro Guzman, 1,000 votes. Christopher Cushman, 1,000 votes. David Torres, 1,000 votes. Remaining votes to go to Comstock ISD nominee, 95 votes. Resolution, whereas Section 6.03 of the Texas Property Code provides that the governing body of each taxing unit entitled to vote shall determine its vote by resolution and submit it to the chief appraiser. And whereas Section 6.03, Section C of the Texas Property Code provides that a governing body may cast all of its votes for one candidate or may distribute the votes among any number of candidates. And whereas the San Felipe de Oro CISD Independent School District desires to cast its votes for the candidates in the manner specified herein. Now thereof, be it resolved by the San Felipe de Oro Consolidated Independent School District that the San Felipe de Oro Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees cast their votes for the following named candidates for the Board of Directors of the Val Verde County Appraisal District in the following specified manner. Again, as I mentioned, Juan Gallegos, Ramiro Guzman, Christopher Cushman, David Torres, has approved this 18th day of November 2019. Now, I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Orfeld, second by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item that we have, I really would like to thank this item again. We do not have all the members of our board here. It's a very important item. Item 10B, consider and take possible action on RFQ number 20-03, selection of law firm as legal counsel for the district. I had placed this item on the agenda, again, requesting that we have an RFQ go out, request for qualifications for those interested in representing us as our legal counsel. This one very important item, has not been revisited close to almost 30 years. In the wake of recent events regarding cybersecurity, it is in the best interests of us as board members to interview candidates, those that are willing to work for our district, to learn of the different services that are being provided by the legal law firms out there. We did interview applicants. There were people submitted their RFQ. We're being told that as we renew contracts, for example, third-party vendors, such as Skyward and other software that we have, that we include an update on the contracts to make sure that if data is breached and our employees, again, lose personal data information, that they be held liable as well. So even that small item is very important as we renew contracts with, again, third-party vendors, some of which come from Region Center 15, for example, software that we use here in our district. And it's not a matter of what, but it's a matter of when our data will be breached. Texas Association of School Board has had that happen, exposing, again, personal data regarding entire school district personnel, not just one district, several districts. As a regard, in regard to that incident, they've hired a full-time staff, 100%. They're used to train staff to provide in-service training for school districts. And this is where we get the information again about contracts being updated to include their side of the liability in regard of data being breached from third-party vendors, such as Skyward. The full-time employee at TASB conducts certain training sessions, experiments with staff to see if they're able to detect some phishing emails, items again that can be used to compromise information that is personal to the employees. We have seen other school districts that completely shut down because of ransomware. They're held again for a certain amount of money to be able to operate. As we attend training out of state, we learn from the different presenters that even backing up our system, it should not be backed up in the same system that we used to operate. It should be separate and apart from the operating system that we use. As board members, we have received email. I know Ms. Gonzalez received an email, I think it's from me, requesting some monetary assistance in the form of gift cards. And she wasn't the only one. Same thing has happened with Texas Association of School Boards, where supposedly officers of the Texas Association of School Board, directors, officers, were sent emails for phishing information for personal gains. Again, they use almost, it looks official coming from an officer of TASB requesting information from directors. So we have been warned again to make sure that we call their office to make sure that this is verified. I also, again, TASB has had, as I mentioned, to hire full-time staff. They provide such valuable information, which they did at the state convention. And then I really would like to make sure that all the board members are here. I do not want to take advantage here, it'll go in favor or whatever. I just want to make sure that we have the best system available, or the best, I guess, safeguards in place, so that when it does happen, we are prepared. As you well know, the city was, again, security was breached with the city. It had to shut down, went to paper receipts for their billing system, and created some confusion there, and a lot of, I guess you could say, complaints from community members in regard to keeping the information, valid and updated. But I do not want to make a decision if, again, we do not have the board members here. This is very important. The RFQ was written in a way where we could keep certain legal counsel from performing different tasks. If one is better at cybersecurity, then perhaps we can use that firm for that purpose only and continue with the same legal counsel that we have. But I'm going to open it up to board members and see what is your prerogative, because again, we have 2 board members that are out today. I do not want to make a decision until everybody gives their input. Mr. Orfeld.
No, I agree with you, Mr. Mesa, that it is a major decision because it is our legal counsel for the 7 of us, and having 2 individuals out there, because I know we would want to have some discussion before taking a vote regardless. I would be fine going in, and if we need to, tabling this item and pushing it to December until everyone is available.
Yes, there's no need to act on it today. I just want to make sure that we do not prolong this, for longer than the next meeting date. Sometimes it's difficult to get all 7 board members here. I just want to tell the board members that I want to be prepared in case something does happen. It's just happening too often. It's happening everywhere. We just need to be prepared in regard to receiving the best possible services in regard to cybersecurity.
Absolutely agree. Yes, sir.
Okay. Then, Mr. Orfeld, would you make a motion that we table this for December?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to table item 10B until the December board meeting.
Okay. Second it? Mrs. Webb. All those in favor, please indicate. Okay, unanimous. Again, this is just to make sure that everyone has their input, and I hope that we can get everybody here in December. So item 10B is tabled. We go on to item 10C, consideration to approve the 2019-2020 Superintendent's Evaluation Instrument. Again, you do have a copy of the instrument. It's been updated to include new requirements in regard to the worksheet. You see items that have been updated are in blue, items that have been deleted in red. But basically, it's same instrument just being updated. Any questions? It's the same instrument, again, just being updated. So I will entertain a motion for approving the Superintendent's Evaluation Instrument. This is Webb, seconded by Ms. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay, Human Resources. Item 14A, consideration to approve employee job descriptions and evaluation forms. Yes. Item 12. I have no.
There's nothing.
Is this, I'm looking at my board manual. So this is the updated, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
The change order, okay. Yes, this was, okay, sent after our budget, our board book. And item 12, again, this is a change order. This was not included in our packet, so this is why it's being, again, revised. I think it was sent during the update. Item 12, Technology and Operations, consideration to approve change order with Frontera Construction LLC in the 91 amount not to exceed, where is it? 91 is a page number. Not to exceed $41,720. Funding source, 2,400 construction budget for the high school, with the addition of staff restrooms and millwork in the 400 wing teachers lounge of the Del Rio High School. Dr. Rios?
Yes, sir. In summary, the 400 wing is under renovation. The faculty restrooms were not included in the renovation documents that were submitted for bidding. We asked the architect to make that correction, and the millwork or cabinet work was also not included. The millwork was not an oversight of the architect. The restrooms were. But we decided to relocate the cabinet work to the new teachers lounge, which then left the 400 teachers lounge without cabinet work. So we're making those corrections. There is no addition to the budget. There's enough favorability within the budget to cover the expense, so we're not asking for additional money, but we are asking for you to approve the change order. Are there any questions, Mr. Mesa?
Yes, sir. Could you look at the form that we were given today, because the numbers don't add up. Proposal request number 6 and proposal request number 7. And there's a proposal request that doesn't have a number. The amount being $29,810. There's one that doesn't have a number, $1,980, and then the other amount is $9,930.
So
I think with that other one that is not numbered, it does add up to $41,720.
Yes, sir. The three items, which is the demolition of the bathrooms was 1,980. And then the reconstruction for material and labor to make them look like the 200 is 29,810. And then the millwork is 9,930. So those three combined add up to the amount.
So what is the one with the amount 1,980? Is there a certain number attached to it?
Yes, sir. Initially, we asked Frontera Construction to demolish the restrooms so that we can continue to build around them. But when we demolished the restrooms, we quickly saw that to build around them was only going to increase the cost, because then we were going to come back and have to demolish that square that we were going to build around it to then put the restrooms. We were going to have to put the restrooms. It was at that point that we decided to bring the entire change order to y'all. So that 1980 is just for demolishing the restrooms.
There's no particular number attached to it.
Particular number as far as
It says proposal request for number 6 and number 7, but there's nothing in between 6 and 7.
no, sir. It's all these three will fall under that same approval.
Okay, then it's up to. Question from board members? And Dr. Rios, that amount is available from the set amount of $2 million.
Yes, sir, including the amount that you also later approved for the student restroom. So everything combined, the budget as it stands right now will more than cover the expense and still have some favorability.
Okay.
Can I read the recommendation?
Recommendation.
Board President Mesa, members of the board, it's a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the change order with Frontera Construction LLC in the amount not to exceed $41,720 for the addition of staff and millwork in the 400 wing Teachers Lounge of Del Rio High School.
For the recommendation, I will entertain a motion for approval. We have Mr. Contreras, seconded by Mr. Overfeld. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Human Resource, now we're on 14A. Consideration to approve employee job descriptions and evaluation forms for the following: Secretary CTE update, Coordinator Career and Technology Education CTE update, Secretary Chief Human Resource Officer update.
Yes, good evening again. President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. In your board packet, we included the 3 job descriptions that Mr. Mesa just mentioned for your consideration. These job descriptions are in existence, and we're just requesting for some updates.
These are not new employees. It's
No.
just an update.
Is there any questions on those job descriptions?
Questions from board members? Mrs. Webb?
On the Secretary, Chief Human Resource Officer, this is an update,
Yes, ma'am.
but yet we're changing basically 90% of the job duties and responsibilities.
The department has realigned, and even though it's an update, it's a position that is currently available. So we wanted to match with the other job descriptions for the chief instructional officers and to include the typing. And then because of the realignment that we had with the HR department, we have to update it. Last year, when we evaluated this individual, her evaluation was non-applicable in a lot of these areas. So we need to make it match so that she could be properly evaluated.
So I guess my next question is, a lot of what's being taken out was the individual was working with AppyTrack, which is now Frontline Education. So who's gonna be doing all of that if all of this was taken out of this job description?
We have our Human Resource Information System Coordinator, and she works closely with all the programs that we have in HR, and she's the one that gets trained for this.
That was my question, because I noticed that 90% or more
Yeah.
was totally different. So I'm going like, so who's
Yeah.
doing the other?
Thank you.
Anyone else? being none, recommendation, please.
It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the employee job description and evaluation forms as presented.
You've heard the recommendation from administration. I will entertain a motion for approval. Mrs. Webb, seconded by Mr. Contreras. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, item 14, I'm sorry. 14B, consideration to approve the conversion of speech-language pathologist to a speech-language pathologist assistant for the special ed department. Ida Garcia.
Yes, sir. In our October 21st regular Board of Trustee meetings, we made a recommendation to convert two excess positions to speech-language pathologist assistants because we had no viable candidates. We still have no viable candidates for this position, and we do have one job posting available right now, a vacancy for a speech-language pathologist. So we would like to convert that to an assistant since we do have someone that is qualified for this position.
Question for board members? No questions. Recommendation, please.
It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the conversion of the speech-language pathologist to a speech-language pathologist assistant for the special education department.
You've heard the recommendation from administration. Is there a motion for approval? Mrs. Webb, seconded by Ms. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 16A, consideration to approve the Safety and Security Committee members. Mr. Dwayne Maldonado.
Good evening, President Mesa, members of the board, Dr. Rios. During the October regular school board meeting, Dr. Rios presented one of the requirements of Senate Bill 11, which was to form a Safety and Security Committee for the district. In accordance with Senate Bill 11, San Felipe Del Rio CISD and its board members has recommended the following individuals to serve as members of the district's Safety and Security Committee for the 2019-2020 school year. Raymond Mesa, School Board President. Linda Guanajuato Webb, School Board Vice President. Dr. Carlos Rios, School Superintendent. Roland Trevino, Teacher. Dwayne Maldonado, District Chief of Police. Emilio Galindo, Del Rio Police Department Detective. John Sheedy, City of Del Rio Emergency Management Coordinator. Fernando Perez, Texas Department of Public Safety Emergency Management. Benjamin Gonzalez, Parent. Ricardo Delgado, Parent. And Alfred Lozano, Retired Captain for the San Antonio Fire Department. Are there any questions?
Question from board members? Mr. Orfeld?
Yes, sir. Sorry. Is there anything in Senate Bill 11 that precludes more than the two board members from serving, i.e. if I wanted to be a part of this?
No, sir. The way this is written here, these are recommendations to include, and if we wanted to include others, you can.
I just have a vested interest in the security of what goes on in the district because of two children and a wife who's employed within the district, and I'd like to be a part of it.
Yes, sir.
If the board agrees with that.
That's fine. If we could include Mr. Orfeld.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Recommendation, please.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the members as listed to include Mr. Overfelt, board member, for the District Safety and Security Committee for the 2019-2020 school year.
You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Mr. Orfeld, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay, the time is 7:47. We're now going to go into closed session permitted by sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.073, 551.074, 551.076, 551.082, and 551.087, and 551.084 of the Government Code, Texas Open Meetings Act. If a final vote is required on any matter, will be considered upon returning into open session. We are now in closed session. Okay, the time is 8:41 p.m. We are now going to reconvene into open session. No action was taken in executive session. We're down to item 18A. Consideration to approve the personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, resignations. De Garcia.
Yes, good evening again. It is the recommendation of administration to approve the following new hires. Estela Garza, ELA teacher at San Felipe Memorial Middle School. Diana Ruiz, speech language pathologist assistant for the special education department.
Further recommendations, is there a motion for approval? Mrs. Webb, seconded by Mr. Overfeld. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
There being no other items on the agenda, is there a motion for adjournment? Mrs. Webb, seconded by Mr. Overfeld. All those in favor? Good night, everyone. We're adjourned. Thank you.